Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for some music and entertainment news. So Saturday Night Live, coming up in February, they celebrate their 50th anniversary. SNL 50 Beyond Saturday Night is a documentary that dropped today on Peacock, 4 episodes. And here's a great clip from it. And Kate just asked me a question during the Hoobastank song, which was very romantic, by the way, with us just two here alone in the studio with Kenzie out sick. But what's your favorite SNL skit? And
Sketch. Hold on. Sketch.
Sorry, went to Columbia Broadcasting School, comedy writer, sketch.
Second City. As somebody at Second City once told me, a teacher there, skits are what they do at summer camp. We do sketches here.
Wow.
Yeah. So soak in that for a second. It's an SNL sketch. If I teach you one thing ever, it's an SNL sketch.
So my favorite skit from SNL is, like, I remember Buckwheat is Dead. That was one of my favorite of all time. But then, of course, how can you deny the Chris Farley stuff when the Chippendale Dancer audition or the Van Down by the River? I really got to let that sit and think on that for a long time on my favorite overall skit on Saturday Night Live.
Sketch.
Skit. What's yours?
Oh, I always, because Norm Macdonald's my favorite comedian.
Oh, I forgot about Norm.
Celebrity Jeopardy. Norm just on Weekend Update as an entity. I love on Weekend Update the last few years. They do this for the final episode before Christmas and then the season finale. Michael Che and Colin Jost will write jokes for each other.
That's awesome.
Some of those have been incredible. There's a sketch from about a decade ago now called Meet Your Second Wife. And it's a game show where 3 guys are married.
I remember that.
And their second wives get younger and younger and younger as the game goes on. I really like that one. There's a lot out there. The 50th anniversary special for SNL airs in February. We need to revisit this conversation when that episode airs.
Yeah, put a pin in it, and we'll circle back. So SNL 50 Beyond Saturday Night, again on Peacock. It dropped today. Here's a clip from one of the best segments of all time, more cowbell, and then describing it.
It doesn't work for me. I gotta have more cowbell.
And if Bruce Dickinson wants more cowbell, we should probably give him more cowbell.
Say, baby.
You could see Walken's enjoying this. He's laughing in the background.
It's wonderful that somebody caught that moment.
And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. When the sketch is going and it's cooking, the room almost shakes a little bit. And it was shaking that night.
The last time I checked, we don't have a whole lot of songs that feature the cowbell.
I gotta have more cowbell, baby.
And I'd be doing myself a disservice and every member of this band if I didn't perform the hell out of this.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Who would have thought that Christopher Walken could pull off that sketch like that?
Again, that comes from the SNL Beyond Saturday Night documentary. All 4 episodes are on Peacock as of today. I don't know if they get into it in that documentary, but that sketch had been kicked around for quite a while.
I think they said a decade or something, it felt like.
They had been trying it, and believe it or not, there was something missing from it. And the only thing that took it over the top was Will Ferrell. Not only is he playing the cowbell in that sketch, but he's wearing a shirt that is 10 sizes too small.
Yeah.
Once he put on the shirt, everybody was like, oh, now it's funny.
Yup.
If he's just in a normal fitting shirt, the sketch for whatever reason doesn't work. It only was when he put on the smaller shirt that sketch started to work.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, some of his funny stuff then, back when he was there doing those sketches. I'm not saying that with a tone that it's not now. But some of the funnier stuff he did. You don't like him on Saturday Night Live?
Has Jimmy Fallon ever been funny?
Oh, well, that's another conversation.
Let's break it down.
Well, if you take the sketches, the funniest were there.
Yeah, where he was in a lot of them, I don't know, breaking character, being a distraction.
Yeah.
He and Horatio Sands sort of ruining a bunch of stuff.
Well, he was not very, when you break character too much, it's every time, it's not a thing anymore.
No, it's not a thing.
You got to keep your character at some point. So anyway, I can't wait to watch that. That is on Peacock.
And you have that.
I think I do. I think I steal that password from my mother-in-law.
That's the spirit.
I think I do. I'm not sure. I know it works. That's all I care about. Also, TikTok's supposed to go dark on Sunday, and it doesn't seem to be as big a deal as people in my life anyway. No one's, and I haven't seen it come across even on our text line about TikTok going away. I know some of our listeners make a living on TikTok. Well, one way to save it is Mr. Beast. He has joined billionaires in a last-minute bid to buy TikTok. Now, Mr. Beast has, of course, 500 million social media followers when you add up all his stuff. The most viewed man on YouTube. He wants a seat at the table. I've heard Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank may be involved in that same group of billionaires. And Mr. Beast, I'm not sure he's a billionaire. He definitely is worth $100 million at least. My question to our audience right now is, I know who Mr. Beast is. I've seen the sketches to understand what he does, and I understand it. I get that part of it. I don't get why he is the biggest man on social media. I don't know if any of our listeners regularly, daily watch it. I'm not judging you. I'm saying I'd like to hear if you do, because 500 million social media followers would think that, I don't know, more than 50% of our audience follows him regularly and subscribes to everything he does. But I don't. I've seen it, and I understand what he does, and I think he seems like a super good guy and a nice guy in what he's done. He gives away tons of money and cars and houses.
And prosthetic legs.
Yeah.
That's more important than the cars and houses.
Yeah. But he's done all that. But do you, Case, watch him regularly or at all?
No. And I much like you, I'm going to go through the same preamble. I understand by definition he is the most popular person on these platforms. I don't have a single person in my life that is like, yeah, so I was watching a Mr. Beast video the other day, and I would love to know if there's somebody out there that watches it. Where should we start? What are the good videos? What are the bad videos?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
So first text says, look up Mr. Beast, douchebag. Someone said, I understand his popularity, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know who that is. I understand it. I just don't want to watch it every day or every week because it doesn't entertain me. But I understand if it does to you, that's fine. We're different people. We're a family here. Some things make you laugh and some things don't. I get it.
Have you at least tried to watch his stuff?
Yes.
Oh, see, I haven't. I don't even understand what he does.
So when I first heard of him years ago, I started watching it going, well, this guy's figured it out. He's amazing. You know what I mean? But I didn't find myself going back to it, so I'm kind of cool where I'm at. I'm fine with all the entertainment needs I have.
Well, let me ask you this, because TikTok is going away on Sunday, and it's not a leading question. I'm not trying to get you in trouble with the missus or anything.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
When you open up TikTok, what videos do you see? And again,
what the algorithm does?
This is a safe space. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but when you're on TikTok scrolling away the day, what does a Brian video look like?
I'm only going to talk about what happened yesterday.
Okay.
Open it up. It was an ice cream device that makes an ice cream cookie sandwich. So you put 2 cookies in it. And you dunk. And listen, I was 2 seconds away from buying it, but I forgot we're in a weight loss challenge here with me, Kenzie, and Case.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't buy this thing because it's amazing, but once Super Bowl weekend happens, I'm buying this thing. That was what crossed my timeline yesterday on TikTok when I first opened it up.
Can you buy it now so we can have it at your Super Bowl party?
See how good TikTok is?
I know. We got to save this thing.
Also, 219 checked in. Mr. Beast's tween audience is huge. Our son is obsessed with that channel, with his channel. I figured that, and that's why it's not necessarily for me, if you understand that. You know, it's not. I'm not sitting there.
You're not a tween.
Oh, by the way, 708 wanted to clarify. They said, Brian, you're not a douchebag. Mr. Beast is a douchebag. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. I mean, I might be a douchebag sometimes.
We'll see. I know we talked yesterday. I asked the question when it came to TikTok of why are we concerned about the Chinese, about China spying on us when I feel like our own government does that. Phoebe from Bartlett checked into the text line, and she said, I'd mail my DNA directly to the Chinese Communist Party in order to keep TikTok.
Huh. Thanks for your service.
I think ball's in your court now, Phoebe. Put up or shut up.
All right, finally closing out music entertainment news. Hopefully TikTok does not go away on Sunday for everybody that makes a living on it, of our listeners, and just for enjoyment. The other big news, obviously, of the entire couple weeks is the LA fires. Comedian Bill Burr, one of our favorites, was on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and of all things was berating people that are ripping on the people that caused the problems with the fire, the government there. And
wait, who's he ripping on?
So he's ripping on people that rip on the management of the fire.
Got it.
Which is the prevailing take that they screwed it up completely.
Self-proclaimed fire experts.
Correct. And here is Bill Burr on Jimmy Kimmel.
I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff. So I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet, you know?
Yeah, right. I know it, right?
Oh, my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? And then just, I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds? You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in L.A. sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged. And I love how all the chatter out there is about bands of illegal immigrants and homeless people lighting fires. They light fires every day. They're living outside. They're cold. And this theory that some homeless guy without a car went from Altadena all the way to the Pacific Palisades, and then we have a hang glider.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and the fact today that makes your brain go. Lit a firestorm in the 6 o'clock hour and the 7 o'clock hour all morning long. So later on today, make sure you do go to the podcast and check out those first hours. This is the fact that Indiana is trying to annex parts of Illinois and rewrite the border of Illinois. If this was olden times, 1800s, this would have caused a war. But it seems like it may have happened already anyway with our discussion of this morning in the 6 o'clock hour. So what's going on is the Indiana House Republican Caucus announced its intent to redraw state lines. Think about that. Redraw the state lines and welcome dozens of Illinois counties that want to secede from the state. Allegedly, there's 30 Illinois counties that want to secede since 2020 because of frustrations with high taxes.
And by the way, 30 is a big number.
I thought it was going to be 1.
If it was 6, I'd be like, whatever. 30 counties is a lot of counties.
Illinois is already losing population. We can't lose 30 counties. I mean,
that's the state. How many counties are in the state?
I guess I got to Google that.
Yeah, sorry.
How many?
Oh, I guess you're going to spell
counties?
it out too.
You know what? That's a third of our counties. There's 102 counties in Illinois.
I can't believe.
That's a lot.
We've had the local news on the TV in our studio all morning. How is this not the only thing they're talking about?
We ask a question on here, should we care about this? No one else is talking about this but us. I mean, you're talking about, okay, a third of Illinois then is gone. I don't know what we'll look like then.
Well, this is the point I made earlier, is I think this is fueled by big map. I think the map industry is losing millions. Everybody who wants a map has a map, and this is their way of getting all of these people that own maps back onto the market, because we would have to update what the country looks like.
Think about, as you know your whole life, what Indiana and Illinois look like on a map.
No matter where you are, how old you are, where you're listening, we know what those two states look like. They've been the same for our entire lives.
Now, we got a little excited this morning and talked about this at length, and it turns out we may have actually started. We know there's skirmishes on the border right now defending. The war has begun, and it really started with the Quiznos closing in Valpo.
That was the first shot. That was the Franz Ferdinand.
That was first shots fired. And so many people have checked in about this on both sides of the border. Case being from Indiana, having to turn against his own family to defend Illinois and keep those counties.
I'm incredibly conflicted. And I cannot emphasize enough, if you just got in your car and you're hearing us talk about this for the first time, the first 90 minutes of the show today were only this. And I have been battling myself the entire morning as to whether or not, myself being from Indiana, if I would fight along the Hoosiers, the Indiana side, or if I would stay where I'm at and fight along the Illinois side. And I feel like I'm a free agent right now. I need compelling offers from both sides on who I should join.
You actually think you're in demand in this war? Like you could call your shot at what you deserve to have Case defend either Indiana or Illinois?
That is a top 1 meanest thing ever said to me. That is at the top of the list.
I'm glad I could do that for you today.
Do you not want to go into battle with me? Are you not entertained?
I'm a little... Wow. He hasn't watched Gladiator yet. Tomorrow he watches...
I watched Gladiator before Christmas.
Oh, that's right. You have seen Gladiator.
That's the only reason I know the line.
That's right. Not 2, but you've seen Gladiator, and he's going to watch Rudy tomorrow day. And also Indiana related, of course. Phil checked in and said, this is what happens when Kenzie isn't there. We start a war with Indiana. Kenzie's sick today. He says also, but yeah, I'm in. Let's take the dunes.
Well, Juan checked in from Batavia, and Juan's been with us all morning. He says he's now captured, as he put it, 20 Indiana-ins, and tomorrow we write again, let the demands begin.
Wait a minute, he's got 20 hostages?
I'm afraid we're going to lose Juan.
This is very disturbing. We're just talking here. We didn't enact anything, although we did actually anoint one general.
We did Kendrick.
Kendrick of Uptown is a general.
That's right. We sent him to a White Sox game last year to see if they could make history. He's been texting us every day since. He's the man. And because he was the first one to say that he would go across state lines, he is now a general. Also, Brian, people are demanding that you do indeed buy a snowmobile. This is something else we've been talking about this week. You need to buy a snowmobile so you can lead your snowmobile troops into battle.
Think of the look that would have.
Maybe the scariest thing I've ever seen.
I'm putting flames on my snowmobile. I'm painting flames. And I'm going to have also a paintball gun launcher on the front.
I would honestly rather see an atomic bomb coming at me than an army of snowmobiles. That would be less scary.
Chad checked in and said, as a Hoosier, you can have Gary, but please spare Valpo. I don't want to pay Illinois taxes where I work. Listen, everything's negotiable at this point. It just started, okay? Everything has just got underway here, and we're interested in reports from the border of what's going on all morning. Thank you for checking in. And we appreciate the sensitivity of this issue because, boy, this is how wars start.
This is it.
Just conversation, but then people take it into action.
Well, I asked Brian during that last song, I said, are you sure we should invade Indiana? I mean, is this a good idea for us? And do you remember what you said to that?
I said, it doesn't matter. It started now. We have to make our point.
We have to finish it.
We have to finish it. Which is also how a lot of wars start and end for no reasoning thought.
No one wants to be the bigger man here.
Mike checked in from Indiana. He says Indiana has low taxes, but that's all. They don't plow, salt, fix roads. I think their engineers come from IU. I'm from Indiana, where we go to Illinois for parks and recreation.
There you go.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
Now, they have the dunes, which I've been to, which are amazing, in Miller Beach.
So they have the dunes. Mm-hmm. They have the Horseshoe Casino.
Yeah, we've got to take the Horseshoe Casino.
We've got to get the casino.
And the Hard Rock, too.
And if we had both casinos, I'm getting so excited here. If we had both casinos.
Now, imagine if we take both casinos. And then the people of Indiana, we'll say that are in, hostages by this point.
Yeah.
We can let them go for a higher rate to go into the casinos for some sort of entertainment. In Red Dawn, you haven't seen Red Dawn yet as a movie. That's a movie kind of where the Russians take over, but they still let the civilians have some kind of activities.
Oh, Captain, my Captain, I am ready to follow you into battle. I've never been more confident in any plan in my entire life.
Now, this is where it's getting scary. Barry said, why stop there? Michigan? Keep going? Well, this is just getting a little bit carried away, I think.
I don't know.
Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
For Indiana, no sleep till we take the state. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Indiana trying to annex counties of Illinois. And we started a war this morning to defend those counties. They can't leave. You can't leave. Have you seen A Bronx Tale?
I have.
Oh, you've seen that movie.
My dad made me watch it before I went to college, because there's the line in there's nothing worse than wasted talent. And my dad said, your one rule before you go to college is you have to watch A Bronx Tale and then remember that.
But you don't remember that line. You remember more so, you just can't leave. Or the door test.
The door test, of course. We explained that to Kenzie. It did not go well.
It didn't go over.
She did not understand the door test.
312-591-8300. And one more reason to take Indiana. What do we got to secure in Indiana as the Illinois-Indiana border war starts?
Abby from Elgin has found the way to my heart. I can't believe I neglected to mention this all morning. Indiana has the Albanese Gummy Factory, which is where you get the best gummy bears in the world, the best chocolate-covered pretzels in the world. Any candy that you want that is finely crafted, you can find at the Albanese Gummy Factory. It is one of my favorite places on earth, and once we take the casinos, we're going straight for the Gummy Bear Factory.
Yeah! Is it in Northwest Indiana?
It is, yeah. It's in the region, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
stop there. When I go home with my family to Indianapolis for Christmas, we always make a point of stopping there. We stock up on Christmas gifts there. It looks like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory during the holidays. I have seen armed security outside of this candy factory because it gets so nuts during the holidays.
It's so interesting the way you talk about it with such passion that I don't remember ever getting any gummies from this place for a gift in the 6 years you've been in my life.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to get you a gift.
Okay.
I see you every day.
I want some sours. They have sours?
They have sours.
I want sours.
They sell them at Jewel. You can go to Jewel and get some.
Well, you just talked about this place like it was heaven.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
And I'm fine with going to Jewel to get my sour candy, my sour gummies, but you go buy this place.
I have to do another thing for you? I'm always doing things for you.
Add it to the list.
Oh, God.
312-591-8300. Call in, or text in, I should say, with your takeaway, 312-591-8300. Takeaway from today's show. What was memorable to you? Text your takeaway in right now.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And before we get to our takeaways with Lauren coming in too, I have to acknowledge, and I had to be reminded, by the way, in case my wife's listening, that Case reminded me today that 5 years ago today was when I proposed to my wife at our Ahoy show in front of 5,000 people, the Black Keys, at the Aragon Ballroom. Now we've been married.
You tell me.
This year will be 3 years. We've been together over 7. It'll be 3 in June. Right? We got married in 2022? Yeah.
I thought you got married in 2021. I think you got married in 2021.
Oh, you're right. I'm going to be married 4 years.
Why do I know that? Why do I know that and you don't? I swear to everyone, Brian did not set me up for that. He doesn't know when he got married.
You know the time with me is weird.
Well, it is your wedding anniversary. I would hope that one's less weird.
Coming up in June will be 4 years. And we have, of course, a daughter, 2 years and 2 months old, Harper. And what a time. What a time. And it was funny because when I made that, of course, on stage, bringing on the Black Keys, no one here at Q101 knew I was going to do it.
No, and everyone was super happy about it after the fact. Mm-hmm. Everyone in management was thrilled you did that. Mm. No, they were super happy for you on a personal level. There weren't any weird conversations afterwards.
Wow. But I will say that after it was so loud when the crowd cheered so much, seeing some beautiful moment out there, I couldn't hear Megan. Mm. And so we get off stage and went to the side. I go, "Did you say yes?" She goes, "Yes, I did." She did kind of back up. She doesn't like that kind of public display stuff, and she was backing up away from me. And fortunately, one of our photographers pushed her back. I think it was Zach, pushed her back toward me. Forced an answer out of her, and here we are.
There you go.
Does that sound loving?
That sounds awesome. Hey, 4-year wedding anniversary coming up this year, Brian.
Hey, Megan, baby. Love you. Love you, baby. Let's go. Takeaways from today's show, 312-591-8300. Case, what do you got?
219 checking in from Portage, their first takeaway ever. I picture Brian riding his snowmobile into Indiana like George Washington crossing the Delaware.
Facts. And related to the biggest conversation of the morning about how Indiana wants to annex counties of Illinois and change the border, 708 checked in. Takeaway. When Brian's grandchildren are reading about the great Illinois-Indiana War of 2025 in history class, he can proudly tell them, "I was there, and I charged across those dunes like a madman." It was chaos. We'll continue this tomorrow, obviously, on the show. And, I don't know what's going to happen overnight, but I just keep your phone near you.
Keep your ham radio on. Pack a go bag.
Yeah, for those, just have something. Have a hockey bag with some meals ready to eat. The MREs ready to go. Okay, Case, what's on the podcast? Obviously,
there's one podcast episode today that you need to listen to. It is called "No One Panic, But Brian Just Declared War Against Indiana." If you have not heard that, or if you heard it, I would highly recommend sending it to a friend. No one else is doing this. There's more content than ever before. No one did what we're doing today. And I would recommend listening. I would recommend subscribing. I would recommend sharing it with a friend. And I would recommend being back here tomorrow morning when we do the same damn thing all over again.
Yeah! Now, I'm not 100% sure what we did was right.
That is not up to us.
That's for history to decide.
History is written by the victors.
One more takeaway late from Julio. Florida is the flaccid dong of America.
Amen.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.